Today we're going to make an Indian curly Velcro wrap ponytail from scratch, so if you want to learn, stay tuned. 2 bundles of 24-inch, a weaving net, of course the Velcro wrap, scissors, a wig comb, and of course we're all about the branding, my branded label. I like to use the net with the smaller holes, and we're going to fold that in half before we start cutting it. Some Velcro wraps are really wide, but I like mine's very compact, and don't worry, we are going to fit the 2 bundles on this small net. I made it 5 inches wide and just guesstimate the semicircle. I'm not lie, the first time I made this, it took me 2 hours and about 4 broken needles. And once I got the hang of it, I haven't changed my needle in about 4 years. So practice really makes perfect. Now we have 2 pieces of net, and we're going to use our brother's sewing machine and put it on level 1. And everything I use in this video will be listed in the description box, the bundles, the actual Velcro wrap, and all the items that I used to make it. So right now we're just sewing along the border to keep the pieces together before we start sewing our bundles. I have my speed on medium, but if you are a beginner, it's okay to start off slow and take your time to just get the feel of the machine until you can basically graduate. And yes, I'm self-taught with using the sewing machine because I tried to find so many videos with how to use a sewing machine to make a wig on YouTube, and I couldn't find it during my time. But I'm here to help you guys out. Now I'm putting the machine on level 4, and I only gauge the bottom number to 6.5 because that determines how wide the zigzag pattern is going to be, and I want the tracks close enough. I don't want them loose, so that's why I'm using my fingers to keep them close so that the tracks are secured when they are doubled. Since we're working with 2 bundles, I definitely doubled the entire first bundle, but for the second bundle, I didn't double the entire bundle. I left a single row of the bundle that would be used for the top of the ponytail. So now it's time to sew on our tracks, and I did gauge the bottom number from 6.5 to 7 because I want it wide enough to attach the tracks onto the net. And don't forget to backstitch the beginning and the end of the track so that your tracks are firmly secured onto the net. Notice I'm also turning the track to mimic the semicircle formation, and at the end of it I'm going to use my micro scissors, which I just find easier to use, to nip the track, and then I'm going to stitch forward and then back stitch, as I mentioned, to secure the ends. Some persons will clean up the excess threading as they go along, or at the end. I like to clean up as I go along because I mean it's less work. So after each row you just snip the additional threading. So remember, we are trying fit 2 bundles on this small ass net, so try and keep the tracks as close as possible. This Indian curly texture is honestly a bestseller. It is so easy to maintain, and who doesn't want a quick and easy hairstyle that they can whip up in no time on a bad hair day? So this is 1 bundle, and yes, we're going to fit the next bundle on what is left of this little piece of net. So you can always double both bundles before you start making your ponytail, but I like to do the second one after I have fully sewed the first one so that I can guesstimate how much more hair I would need. And this is the single row that will be at the top and also at the ends of the Velcro wrap. So now we're filling in the rest of the ponytail, and I'm fighting for my life to get everything on, but don't worry, we're gonna get it on. And now we're at the last row where I'm gonna put the single row at the top so it's nice and flat and neat. You don't want your top row to be double tracked, you want it single. And as you can see, I had put the machine back on level 1 where we are stitching across in a straight line versus how we had it in a zigzag pattern for the double tracks. And this is how the top of our ponytail is looking. And now we can go ahead and just secure the top track again. I'm going over it a second time to make sure that everything is secured. We don't want no tracks falling off. Now clearly this Velcro wrap is too wide, so I'm going to slit it in half. I guess that's more for me. I did choose the wrong size, but listen, I couldn't bother return it, so I made it 8 inches wide. I'm gonna cut it in half right now. Just I guesstimate, if your hand is not as straight as mine, just joking. You can use a ruler to make sure that it's perfect. Half the size of this actual Velcro wrap is perfect to wrap the ponytail. So now we're going to sew the Velcro wrap onto the base of the ponytail. My way of sewing it is to sew across, and then we're going to sew downwards, and then I am going to use the button to backstitch upwards, then across again, and then downwards to make somewhat of an unclosed square. And here I'm showing you guys how I'm going over the stitching to go across to make my way down again, where I don't have to worry about the hair being caught into the understitch. Now having the Velcro wrap just so you know, being shown like that is a very ghetto. So that's why I use my tag to cover that raw finishing. And don't forget to just double check if any hair was caught into the back stitch and just pull it out. So here I'm just putting on my branded label, because guess what, we made it, baby. Yes, a stitch going across, but the stitch at the edge of the label, we have to separate the tracks. We don't want to sew down the hair, okay? So don't forget to separate the tracks so that you don't get the hair caught in the stitching. Now for the edge of the Velcro wrap, I would put about 4 single rows or 2 double rows of hair, and that would give the perfect finishing that would wrap the hair at the base of the ponytail. And can you believe, for a while I was hand stitching the combs on, but I'm just like, there must be a way. And then I realized, yes, it can be stitched on. And that was such a relief for me to learn how to use the machine to stitch on combs, because that was like the worst, most tedious process ever for me. I'll clean up the frayed edges with a lighter or cut any excess threading with a scissors, and look how fluffy this Indian curly Velcro wrap ponytail is. I know my client is going to be extremely happy with her ponytail. So now I'm going to show you guys how I style it. I'm going in with my continuous spray mist bottle from the Cure collection. It's available in purple and gold. If you're still using your 1 pump bottle, please, it's 2023, get with it. And I'm going to detangle with my chrome detangling hairbrush. It not only detangles, but it defines the curls before I apply any product at all. You also want to make sure that you scrunch the hair to activate the curls before you seal it. I'm going to go in with my chrome styling foam, which will also be linked in the description box. And I'm going to thoroughly apply the foam throughout the curls. And then I'm going to allow it to air dry. So you want to make sure that the ponytail is thoroughly wet, thoroughly scrunched, and the product is thoroughly applied. So this is how the ponytail looks when it is properly defined, and we're going to allow it to air dry. And now this is how the ponytail is looking when it's completely dry. Now when the client receives the ponytail, all she has to do is slide the comb into the base of her ponytail, wrap the Velcro wrap all the way around the base, and then use the hair attach to conceal the Velcro wrap, and then maybe use a free spray to keep the hair intact at the base. And that's all, folks. Thanks for watching. This is the Curelux Indian Curly Velcro Wrap Ponytail.